your face as a felon or a wanted person, your phone turns off. Your car turns off. You can't buy or sell. That's what the government of the world is saying they want through the technocracy, not the Bible. People are like, I don't believe the Bible. Okay, well, you better believe what's happening in the real world. And then the churches say, well, good. That means I'll be raptured out soon. You think you're going to be raptured out? Were any of the Christians in the Bible raptured out? Does it even say that? I know your preacher teaches you that, and it's all these groups push it. There's a reason they got big movies on television about how you're going to be raptured. Because the Bible says you're raptured after Christ returns. I mean, a 5-year-old could read that and tell that. But the last 150 years, the globalist preachers have taught you. I mean, I hear these church ladies all the time. Praise God, they're trying to make us take the ship. We're going to be in heaven soon. Oh, we're not going to go through nothing. Oh, really? And then still more preachers on government payroll through the World Council of Churches and the rest of it, Baptist, Catholic, you name it, going, we're slaves of the government. I actually have clips of preachers on TV going, to be a Christian is to be a slave. The Christians would not bow down to the idols and would not do what they were told. And that God was angry with them in Rome. And that is the complete opposite of what actually happened. In fact, I sent that clip to last week to Rob, and I got so busy we never played it on the nightly news. But Dude's doing the nightly news tonight. I'm going to do it tomorrow. But tomorrow, I'm going to take some excise clips out of these videos. Well, on YouTube, they're called Clergy Response Teams Have Arrived or Are Here. There's a bunch of videos of preachers on TV saying, the Christians were bad because they did not worship the idols. And you're going, excuse me? It was of the Lord to do what the Roman government said, and they should have. And the Lord was angry with them. We are slaves of the government. I mean, whoa. I mean, the entire Bible is about standing up against evil. Daniel in the lion's den didn't worship like he was told, put in the lion's den. Over and over again, the fiery furnace, because they wouldn't worship like they were told to do, or they wouldn't pay a tax, or they wouldn't. And Jesus wouldn't do what he was told by the Pharisees. They were the religious government. And almost all the disciples were killed. And John the Baptist, they are of the devil. That Jesus is the devil, according to these modern preachers, and the devil is Jesus. And David Rockefeller is a loving man who wants to take good care of you and your family. And again, I'm not getting into Bible thumping here. It's just that we claim we're a Christian nation. No, we're not. We're a nation going straight to Hades, and everybody knows it.
Alex Jones.
All right, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take your calls to the bottom of the hour, then a big news blitz. And then best-selling author, economist, researcher, who I'm really impressed with, Harry Dent is going to be joining us. Best-selling author, renowned economic forecaster. Talk about what's happening in Europe, what's happening here, what the healthcare means. He is going to be on with us in the next hour. But right now, let's go back to your phone calls for people that are patiently holding on this second day of July 2012. Let's talk to Dave in Michigan. You're on the air, Dave.
Hello, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, thanks a lot for taking my call. First-time caller, long-time listener.
Welcome, sir.
Hey, I got a few comments quickly and 2 questions if I can sneak it all in.
Sure.
So for waking people up, a good litmus test that I found to do is see if people are sheeple or not is ask them if the Fed's part of the government. And about 95% of the time, you know, I hear, oh, yeah, it's part of the government. So then I tell them otherwise, tell them about InfoWars, and then my biggest thing is I tell them, watch the Obama deception. I've gotten more people to watch that and wake up, and that's really good. And the other thing, like Gerald Celente, I like his comment where he says if all the people in Washington, you know, were in their own state, that would probably help things out a lot politically, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it's a good dream. My 2 questions I got, and one that I'd never really heard you talk about, if everything were to, you know, collapse and hit the fan, so to speak, I mean, how would the rich and the elite survive? I mean, would they still need us to do things, grow food, run waste treatment plants.
Sure. No. They plan to shut off the economy. They will pull back to big armored, high-tech redoubts while we live out here in a wasteland and kill each other off. And they have drones flying over, releasing different chemicals and biologicals on us. Actually, there's an article that we red-linked yesterday at Infowars.com by Suzanne Posel. UN asked how many people could live on planet Earth. It has links to the UN think tanks, and it goes on to say Fortress World by 2100. They always say further out than it actually is. It's very closer than that, a lot closer than that. The global society will be controlled by an authoritarian government in order to control distribution of resources. Economic, social, and environmental downgrades would cause the wealthy to retreat to protected areas. This is what they say in literally every publication that they talk about this in. Leaving the masses to fend for themselves in the wastelands. Implementing family planning services would be near impossible, leaving the global population to rise to 10.2 billion. It's set to plane off at about 8 billion, the UN's own numbers are, so they always put this out. The average income would be reduced to 2 cents on the dollar. And again, but then they want a post-industrial world. Water securitization would control 46% of the world's water supplies. Global hunger could soar to nearly 15% of the entire population. That's why they don't want you collecting your own water, because they're going to securitize it like housing markets and turn it into derivatives to jack up the price. And then it goes on to talk about UN population, family planning, all the things they're going to do to people. It is a hellish program that they have ready for us, sir.
Are you still on HF radio? Because I'm a ham operator, and I used to listen to you, but I can't find you where you used to be at.
I know that WWCR changes frequencies from time to time. Have you tried going to WWCR and finding out where I'm on at?
No, I haven't, but I'll have to do that. But I'm definitely glad I got my ham license, because everyone with their smartphone, that can all be shut off. And in fact, I know I have a very good friend that works for Verizon, and actually told me that they have special phones, and they're actually phones that the government has, and they'll only work if you have one of them phones. They do have the ability to turn off the whole cell network.
Of course they do.
And your smartphone is useless. I mean, I don't even have one. I have just a regular cell phone, and everyone laughs at me about my ham radio stuff, but as soon as the power goes out, like we had that big power outage in 2003, in 20 minutes I was on the air with a generator and talking to a guy in Pennsylvania, and he's telling me he's got no power. Well, it wasn't real funny then.
People, exactly. It's bad to be prepared nowadays. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another hour of worldwide broadcast. It is the second day of July, 2012. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Alex Jones. The news websites are Prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. You'll also hear me live on the radio here on channel 166 on XM. Well over 115 AM and FM affiliates now. Also simulcasting at WWCR out of Tennessee on global shortwave. And on top of that, #1 on the audio streams and podcasting when it comes to talk radio at Infowars.com. But you'll hear me talk about, put this on screen, put that on screen. We also have people watching us at Prisonplanet.tv. And we go a couple levels past your standard webcam. We have a 5-camera shoot in here. We can show video clips along with the audio, news articles, in-studio guest. That's what we call InfoWars Live, 3 hours a day, 11 to 2 Central, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. And then 5 nights a week, we have InfoWars Nightly News that I host 2 to 3 times a week. Rob Dew, Darren McBreen, Aaron Dykes, and Paul Watson also. And we're going to be hiring 3 or 4 more reporters here in the next month or so from the InfoWars contest. I'm going to get the male winner and female winner. We're hiring, we're having 2 winners, $5,000 apiece for their reports. And we also produced a pool of people that we can talk to about actually working here. So we're going to have those winners on Thursday or Friday, depending on which days they can do it. So look forward to that coming up this week as we try to build this media operation to challenge the dinosaur media, the globalist media, and all of their propaganda. And we are certainly growing at a rapid pace as you support us. as you go to Infowars.com or InfoWarsShop.com and buy books, T-shirts, films. When you go to InfoWarsTeam.com for all the great vitamins and minerals that I've researched and assembled there, the best products possible at InfoWarsTeam.com. When you buy Pro Pure water filters from us and get a 10% discount with the promo code WATER at InfoWarsShop.com, that funds everything we're doing here. Because the goal isn't just sit here and have some radio advertisers and then keep the money for myself. The goal is to build an organization, to change history, to actually affect the outcome for the better, to be involved as a history's actor. You know, it was Karl Rove told the New York Times 5 years ago, 6 years ago that, oh, the general public of the mainstream media, you're not involved in history now. You don't control your own destiny. We in the government class tell you what the reality is, even if it isn't true, and then you go along with that. We are history's actors now. We control reality. Well, yeah, I guess Jim Jones controlled reality out at his jungle compound in Guyana, and they all drank the Kool-Aid, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. So you don't control my reality, and I don't like what you're doing. And you can say drones looking through our walls are constitutional, or highway checkpoints are constitutional, or face scanning cameras are constitutional, or TSA trolling in our wives' and children's pants is constitutional, and robbing our bags, and waiving background checks and hiring criminals is constitutional. You can say having open borders is constitutional. You can say this new Asia-Pacific group they're setting up that's a global union is constitutional. It's not. You can say the president coming out and saying the UN commands our military is constitutional. It's not. It's illegal and it's treason. This is a designed global collapse by the mega banks who've announced themselves controllers of the planet. JP Morgan Chase came out in Bloomberg last week. 77% of their profit was government money. Okay? I'm tired of it. And you're not going to hear on Neocon Radio about corporate welfare. You're going to hear about welfare moms and people who are dependent. They have destroyed the economy, the society, paid to ship the jobs overseas, so that there is this mass of dependent people where they will get their police officers and their spies and their TSA and their enforcers. So we are in trouble. And the welfare class is deadly. Now, a lot of them are handicapped or they're troops that have been injured, whatever. But I'm talking about the people from childhood taught the government's going to pay for your food, it's going to pay for your lunch, it's going to do all of this, and by the way, you're going to be a SWAT team commander. I mean, or you're going to be a CPS worker. You're going to go out and take people's kids. You're going to go out and shoot people's kids up at the school without even telling the parents. That's now going on from Alabama to California. This is a lawless government that lets foreign banks come in and take people's houses. In fact, guys, we haven't played this in about a year. Can you guys look it up? The headline was, because every time I mention it, people don't believe it. Bank of America gets repossessed. And it's the police in Florida where Bank of America took a $1.2 million paid-in-cash home that they never owned, that the people had owned for a decade. And they took it, and the people over 2 years in court finally beat them. And even the corrupt court said, wait a minute, it's not like you came and claimed you had a fake mortgage and took the house, even though they weren't behind. That goes on. Or somebody was behind, but it was all fraud.